What it do, y'all? It's your brother, man, from the motherland, coming to you guys live from the NY, back with another one of that R.O.D Podcast. For those that don't know who I am him, Junes, the NBIC. You understand? And this is episode 184, probably 185. I'm not too sure. I just be doing so much content. It just be, I just be in my zone. But before I even start this broadcast, I hope everybody's having a wonderful Monday. Hope you guys had a joyous weekend. It wasn't so joyous for me as I received bad news. A childhood friend of mine's, literally like my older brother, passed away on Monday, the day before my son's birthday, the day of one of my right-hand man's birthday, and passed away outside, passed away unexpectedly. And I just want to send my condolences out to everybody, to the family, to the bros, to the sis, to Mama Love. I know it's something hard for us to deal with at the moment, man. You know what I mean? It's just a lot, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? You know that death is always expected, but it's like no matter how many times it comes, we're never fully prepared for it. So, I definitely want to send my condolences out to the family. Overall, everything's gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay. But I just wanted to touch on something as far as me and the Wiz had a conversation after me leaving the fellowship with the family and all that. We need to learn to open up and let people know that we have problems. And we also need to learn how to provide support to those that's dealing with problems. And the only way we're going to do that is we gotta focus on three things. And those three things are love, forgive, and forget. Let me say that again. We gotta focus on love, forgive, and forget. Love is not just a saying. It's literally not a word. It's literally a verb. It's an action. You can't say you love somebody, but your actions don't add up to it. And if your actions can't add up to the term or the word, should I say love, then that should not be said to an individual. It doesn't matter if that's your brother, that's your sister, your mother, your father. If the action does not go hand in hand with the word, then it should not be said. And love, the only way for love manifest easily, naturally, the love must first start within us. See, we have to go back to loving us. Loving us is a very necessary thing. We forgot how to love ourselves. Buying clothes, sneakers, cars, jewelry, home, that's not love. That's not loving yourself. You're treating yourself. Buying something to eat doesn't mean you love yourself, because you can buy yourself poison and still die. That's not loving. Loving yourself is embracing who you are, correcting who you are, adjusting to the ways of this world accordingly. To love yourself is to acknowledge your greatness, acknowledge your fears, acknowledge everything about you. What type of food you supposed to be intaking, how much time you must give yourself to sleep. You must learn to know yourself all across the board. That's the only way the love is gonna be given to the world naturally. The love is lacking in the black community because we lost our way. We forgot how to love ourselves. I can't love you if I don't even know how to love me. I can't love you if I don't know how to love me. Loving me can't come with drinking alcohol, smoking weed, playing Russian roulette with my life, dealing with numerous men and women, unprotected, this, that. That's not loving yourself. That's pleasing yourself. Please and loving is two different things. Getting something out of someone or something, that's not love. That's pleasure. We gotta learn how to separate the two between pleasure and love. There's a difference between having sex and love making. Having sex is just a feel. I'ma get it. It was good. I'ma holler at you. That's in that area. Love making is it's an action. Not only are you love making with the person that you love, but you love to see how they receive you and accept you, not just sexually, but mentally, but spiritually, but emotion. That's what love is. That's where love, that's like the beginning of love. But you're not gonna be able to do that to someone until you start doing that. So, see, we as Black people, we forgot how to love ourselves. And I know that the odds is against us, because when we open the television, when we go outside and we go into certain areas, it's always promoting hate, self-hate. It's always promoting that. It's self-hate. So that right there is an obstacle that we have to cross over. We got to get over that hurdle. We have to. And one of the main reasons into why we can't love ourselves is because we have been brainwashed through religion and westernized education. We have been demoralized mentally, physically, spiritually, even financially. We have been told that a man's happiness comes through his finance. That's not happiness. That's just a pleasure. That's not happiness. That's not fulfillment. And if you think of that, I'm lying. Why are celebrities who have all the money, got all the attention, got all the accolades, are still committing suicide, still high of drugs and crazy out of the streets, etc., etc.? You must explain that. If you are the person that believes that you must have money in order to be happy, in order to love, you gotta have that. These are taught behavior. It's about time that we cross over that hurdle. And the only way we're gonna cross over that hurdle, and like I say in numerous of broadcasters, we have to let go of their ideology. And wherever their ideology present themselves, we have to separate and walk away. Have to. We got no choice. And at this particular moment, from the studies and the research that I have been doing for the last years or so, I come to the understanding that one of the main hurdles we got to cross over or get away from is religion and their education. The television and the movies and the music, that's going to come through time after we start correcting ourselves and standing on wanting to live, enjoying life, embracing life, whether it's good, bad, or in between. But when the love, that action is in full effect, there's not a single weapon that's formed against us that can prosper. They jails will not be the way that it is. Our children will not be the way that they are. A lot of things will be corrected and adjusted once we realize the importance of love. Because once you master love, it's going to be easy for us to wait to the next hurdle, and that is to forget. See, going to my man's gathering, speaking to the family members, everybody's in the frame of mind like, damn, I should have did more, I should have did this, I should have did that. You know why? That is what's coming to their thought. It's because their mind was always clogged on not forgiving. We have to start to forgive. Now, there's certain things you can't forgive, and I understand, but there's also certain things not worth holding on to. It's not worth holding on to for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. It's just not worth holding on to. Sometimes have to release and let go and see the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is what? Life. Being able to have access to an individual. We don't want to wait to somebody to be gone for us to have those doubts and say things like, yo, I should have did more. We want to have those conversations like, yo, man, he went out the way that he wanted to go out. He was happy. I did my job as a brother, as a friend. I did my job, and he knows that. So when you close your eyes at night, you're able to sleep well. Your body don't hurt. Your head don't hurt. You're not so emotionally disturbed because of your previous action. You understand? Love, forgiveness, very important for us, man. Gotta forgive. And for every single person, let me start this campaign off. For every person that done wrong to me, I forgive. And for every person I've done wrong to, please forgive. And forgiveness is not me just saying it. I'm willing to let my actions speak. I'm willing to let my love show, because it's time for us as people to grow. We're falling into their trap, and we're keeping keeping ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually in the barrel filled with crabs. Now we knew about being in the barrels with crabs financially, racially. We knew about it, but we never allowed that to stop or intervene the love we have for each other and also the love we have for self. We wasn't looking forward to following the way of the European. We was looking forward to being left alone, being given our own little community where we can come together and flourish. We never asked for all of this. We wanted to be able to govern ourselves, and we still want to be able to govern ourselves and be left alone. But the fact that I'm even saying that, it's a major disappointment upon myself, frustration upon myself, because I get angry. Because why do I have to ask? Why do we have to ask for acceptance? Why do we have to act to be left alone? Why do we? Chinese people not doing that. The Russians are not doing that. These Jewish people are not doing that. But why are we, the most powerfulest genetic created individuals on the face of this earth, is begging to be left alone? Why are we doing? And what's causing us to stay in this space of begging is because we have lost the love for ourselves and each other. We're not forgiven the way that we're supposed to be forgiven. Everything that you see going on within the Black community starts from some level of trauma, and the trauma should always start and remain from the things that the oppressor has done to you. You should never, and I repeat, you should never take your trauma out on the same people that's dealing with your same circumstance as we should never be doing. We should never be doing. But we have to get to the point of forgiving. We have to forgive. For the sake of the children, we have to start forgiving. We have to put the ego aside. We have to put the pride aside. We have to put away the Western ideology aside. All of that has to be put aside. We really got to tap into who we are. We are not angry people. We're not bitter people. We're not petty people. These are taught behaviors given to you by the petties of all petties. We're not that. And we shouldn't desire that. That's including myself. Me saying this, I am reflecting on myself. I have to do better. Because the people that you being petty to, that could be their last day on the earth. And you will never have an opportunity to say sorry and I love you. And I'm not saying I love you like the word, but showing your action behind the word I love. We're taking this prison complex for granted. We are forgetting that we are in jail. We are forgetting that the things that are placed in front of us is designed for us to fail. It's the only reason why. We have to understand. We have to understand that we as individuals need to learn to do better, because nobody knows what's on the other side. So much stories been given unto us. Nobody knows what happens after that. Religion teaches you one thing. Humanity teaches you another. Nobody knows. But what I do know is, as long as I'm breathing, as long as we're breathing and we are alive and we are able to function, we need to start to love and to forget, because through that we'll be able to elevate as a people, as a community. No child will be raised alone. No mother will be raising a child alone. None of that. No fathers will be leaving their women alone. Women will not be so angry and upset over mistakes that was done, because forgiveness and love is always the tool to keep the glue and everything in place. Those two aspects, which leads to the final thing, to forget. If I love, which is an action, and I forgive you, which is an emotion, which is a thought, which is a mental state, then I also must forget and act like it never happened. Now, let me just give a disclaimer. Rapists, murderers, pedophilias, child abusers, there's no forgiving. There's no forgetting. There's no love. You have chose the side of the adversary. You are an enemy, not to the state, but to humanity. And you should be removed from the face of the earth, period. But in the same token, I understand the trauma you guys are dealing with. But your trauma, like I said before, should not ever, and I repeat, ever be taken out on children, ever be taken out on brothers and sisters, ever be taken out of your people. If you take your trauma, your frustration, and your neglect, and your evaluation failure, whatever you want to call it. You take that against those that put you in these circumstances. You do not come, and I repeat, you do not come and attack your very own, because we are all we got. But forgiveness, we have to forgive, and we damn sure gotta forget. Even if your mind trying to make you remember, you gotta forget. There's people that you get prior situations with when you younger, and then you see them years down the line and you don't even remember the situation. You're just so happy to see that person. That's big. And I know it's hard, because the things that we lack in love, we lack in forgiveness. We don't know how to cope. We don't even know how to face these things head on. We don't know. And the sad thing is, we're not trying. And I hope this broadcast will open your eyes and at least make you try. Let's try doing this together, you and I, me and you, on this journey of facing our community for the sake of the children. It is time for us to take back the wheel. It is time for us to take back our communities. It is time for us to take back what is owed to us. And I'm not talking about reparations. I'm talking about separation. I'm talking about rebuilding a nation. I'm talking about education. I'm talking about spiritual relations. I'm talking that. I ain't talking about nothing that has to deal with them, because anything that comes from them has to be run and governed by, and that's something that we don't need, because that's what they've been doing. See the conditions of our community. We no longer, Chuck, I need you, my brother. I need you, my sister. I'm not here to fight with you. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm not here to go over European philosophies. I'm not here to do that. It's no longer about a religious conversation that we have. It's about a conversation of us coming together, unified together as one, as a black man to a black man, as a black man to a black sister to another black. And let me stop saying the word black, because even that is something that they installed in our mind. Instead of black, we're gonna start calling it beautiful. For all my beautiful skin brothers and my beautiful skin sisters, it's time for us to come together. It's time for us to love each other. It's time for us to stop being so emotionally tied to the foolishness of this world. Stop being emotionally tied to politics. Stop being emotionally tied to religion. Stop being emotionally tied to anything that does not have the foundation or the creation of beautiful skin people. Beautiful skin. I love you. See, I'm saying it now. I must show the action behind it. And I'm willing to do. Are you willing to let? I'm willing to let you. Because if we are mothers and fathers, caregivers, providers for these children, these innocent children that they had asked to be here, and you said you made an oath within yourself or with the spouse that you had a child. You said, I'm gonna protect mine by any means necessary. That's a very powerful state. But protecting does not come with when somebody steps on your child's shoe or somebody in the streets do something wrong. You ready to take them away, take them out, or put your feet. Nah, that's the peasants, that's the slave mentality. To love and protect your child by any necessary is standing up to the very people that's causing our misery, that's putting things in place to cause misery on your children. This is what it means to protect your children by any means necessary. Because it's time for us to stop seeing us as the enemy. I'm not your enemy. I am your brother. Our relatives, our ancestors came off these ships together, fam. My mother, my great grandmother, and your great grandmother was probably tied together on shackles, and they looked at each other and said, nah, we gonna keep fighting. They gonna have to kill us. For those that had to endure the torture, the torment, and still kept their head up high, and they look up to the sky and say, help me, Jesus. They was calling on their ancestors. They was trying to do their African ritual. They was trying to connect back to the creators of this. And I got an FYI for you people. The creators of the universe eyes don't dwell in prison. The gods of the Africans don't dwell in America. No matter how much we try to bring it here, it will never dwell here. It is time for us to go home, because through home we're gonna be around our own, and from being around our own, we're gonna desire that throne, and we're gonna eat the meat and throw away the bone, because now We are in a different space. We are in a space of triumph. We are of true love, action, which by default will allow us to get the icing cake we are able to forget. I hope this broadcast was a good one for you. Definitely was a special me, heartfelt. This one right here, this is for the home. You know what I'm saying? This is home. This is for me. This is food for me. Self-evaluation for me. For us, we're losing out here. We're dying out, crying out here. But we don't know how to shed tears because we was told that you're not supposed to shed tears, and they right. We don't shed tear at war, but we need to know each other well enough to be like, nah, my brother hurt. He needs some love, some support, some guidance, some wisdom. My sister out here hurt. She needs some love, support, some guidance, some wisdom, because we ain't gonna cry out. We gonna lash out, or should I crash? Sometimes we crash into a wall and never recover. So it's time to put these seatbelts on, because it's always going to be a bumpy ride. It would never be a smooth ride. Not as long as you around these enemies. Not as long as you being oppressed. Not as long as you being blessed by their religious aspect. Not as long as you in their schools. It will never be a smooth sailing. It's always going to be a bumpy ride. But this ride should be all of us together and not divide. So we can both, all of us together, our inner divine. And if it's your first time, I hope it's not your last time. If it's your second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth time, that means I'm still on your mind. That means we gotta stay on that grind. Cause listen, people, better get you, because I'm coming. And if I said this once, I'm gonna say I am him too. And I represent R.O.D, and that is for life. And of course, I'm gonna continue keeping my foot of it all on the Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Hebrewism, Hinduism, and anything that is hindering our deliver. It's your brother. And remember, people must free your mind, or you will, and I repeat, or you will get left behind. Are you dumb? I'ma holler at you.